guys, welcome. Welcome to the bench. Don't know if you watched last Friday's stream. I think it was Friday, but pretty much finished the roof. Ken had to find his bells because he said he'd be here with bells. But pretty much finished the roof last Friday. Was thinking about doing some putty on it, but I think it gives it character having the wood slats and being able to see them. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. That being said, the next step, before I throw the tape behind the bench, next step is going to be to paint the roof. And then paint the roof. Then we're going to paint, I forget what they were calling this. We're going to paint this. I had painted the front and back this red color. It's actually this ochre color. So I'm going to first paint the roof. Then I'm going to paint this part here. And then we cut these braces out and put new ones in. Dash is throwing up a whole bunch of bells and then no bells. Is Dash saying he's got the Nobel Peeves Prize? So to make this easier to paint, what I'm doing, I hope it'll work here. This may have to be a little bit rethought on the front and rear. What I'm doing is I'm taping around it so that I don't have to be really careful with the paintbrush. So that should hopefully be enough. When I go back and paint on the, let me look what that thing is called. It was a really weird, Claristory is what they call it. They're calling this part up here a Claristory. I'm going to call it a skylight because it's easier. Easier to say, easier to remember. Most of the way. Last piece across the back here. After sanding, keep finding occasional splinters coming off. But I think it looks fantastic. And I don't have to tape it off like this. I just prefer doing it this way because I know how I can be with the paintbrush. Everybody in HTM knows how good Donnie is with the paintbrush. I'm the exact opposite of Donnie with the paintbrush. I can make a serious mess. So make sure I got the right one. No, that's the primer. I already shook this up earlier with the bottle shaker over there. What I'm looking for too, put some in the cart at Amazon. I got this from Model Expo just about forever ago. I need to find more brushes like that. I put some that are used for cars in my cart at Amazon. I'll probably end up buying those, but I'd like to find something a little bit better. So not only does this paint here, this gray, go on the roof, it'll also go on the roof for the sunlight. Where did I put? There it is. Use a mini paint roller. I wish I could. Wish I had one. Let's see. Move the glue and the knife. I'm loving the way this kit is going together, and anybody who's not on Discord may not have heard, because we were talking a little bit on the lumber, or what is it, lumber mill channel on there. A lot of us that do the wood models watch Ola. I'm not even going to try her last name. We watch Ola on her channel, and she is doing a group build starting on the 4th of January. And I have a boat on the way for that. Kind of looking forward to that. Not sure how she's doing it stream wise. I know she's going to stream it. I don't know how she's planning on having the rest of us, if we're doing just pictures on Facebook, YouTube, what have you. But I am looking forward to that. And I think Dash was going to get into it. I believe Keith said he was going to watch. And along that same lines, waiting to hear back from OcCre, or not OcCre, but Model Expo. That's who I got the kit from. I've asked them if they're interested in doing a video series for them. I'm hoping to get the medicine wagon. I love that medicine wagon. Let's see. So Dash is plowing through his parts. He got 10 boxes of parts from Fan Home and D'Agostini today. Ken says she needs to build a Grissom. You ought to tell her you're going to send her one. Dash is watching, says he's watching. I'm not sure what he's watching. Hey, Kenneth, this is my my lone stream. That's why there's only me on here. We have multiple group streams. It's just like Jordan does his single stream on Thursdays. I started this on Mondays, but switched to Tuesdays. I actually like Tuesdays a little bit better. Back when I first started streaming, when I streamed for, God, it had to be about 3 years straight, 2 years straight, I think. I always streamed on Mondays, or on Tuesdays. Don't know why I switched to Mondays, to be honest, for a short while. Let's see. Oh, you're going to watch it. Okay. Lone Wolf tonight. And wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we do 3 group streams right now. I don't know if we're ever going to do more than that. I know that when I retire 2 years from now, I will do more lone streams. I'll probably do some streams during the day to keep the evenings open for the guys who actually are working at that point. Looking so forward to being retired and spending quality time with all of my models. Come on. One thing about this is trying to make sure I don't miss any spots in the wood. Like right here. I also am trying not to get it too much like I did right there. Got some down onto there. That's okay, though. The red there will be covered up by a wood panel. Actually looks really good. And there is the only spot, if I need to, I don't expect to, that I might use some fill on the roof. I think I got this pretty straight to where when I do the panels on either side, it should be, it should come out without any gaps. Only reason, kind of says the only reason I'm here early is I took off TDY because I got back home from taking my mom to her doctor appointment in town. Oh, took off today. I saw that and read it as TDY, which is temporary duty. Yeah, hope everything's okay, Kenneth. Same with you, Dash, and your mom. I know that you brought her home today. Hope everything is going okay with her. I hope you don't mind me mentioning that you just brought her home. If I wasn't supposed to, I apologize. But I don't think you've kept it a big secret that your mom was in the hospital. Brush painting does get tiring some. Not tiring, but just a regular doctor's appointment. That's good. Speaking of which, I went to a regular doctor's appointment, and my doc is very pleased because my diabetes is acting up a little bit because of the holidays and because I can't get the right meds. For some reason, Manjaro is very popular right now. Might be because we're a fat country and it causes weight loss. But we're trying to see what we can do to adjust dosages, things like that, so that I can actually get it and stop my A1C from climbing up. It climbed up a little bit, but it was fantastic last time. She's not upset. She just said it was better. But I'm also still not back on insulin, and I'm not going back on insulin if I can avoid it. I need a bigger brush. It's the biggest one I've got right now. Sorry, Ken. And Dash's mom is listening, sort of sleeping next to me right now in her chair. That's cool. I know she likes to watch our videos. And I'm not near as entertaining as the whole crew, and don't keep her laughing. I know that on the weekends and on the Wednesday Falcon build, we can get downright rough, raucous. I think very close to being done. And was talking to Dash about, I think it was yesterday, is that the only reason I'm using the OcCre paints on several of the models is because the way they do the quote unquote decals is it's paper that you glue over the wood. And so this time I'm matching the paint. Still think I'm funny. Thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate it. But you glue it over the wood. And so I match the paint by buying their paint. I did okay on the Lisbon Tram, but I know exactly where the paper cutouts are at. Not too happy with the way it came out just on those. The rest of it, I think, was fantastic. One thing, too, if you buy the paints off of Amazon, something to be aware of is Amazon is a stateside company that sells these paints, and I'm sure they are OcCre paints, but they sell a smaller bottle than what you get from OcCre. It's kind of funny. They cost a third less than through this company on Amazon than OcCre charges on their website, and the bottles are a third smaller. So you're actually getting the exact same value. Right here is the only spot that I might want to do some fill, right on this seam here. Just going back over, looking for spots that the wood is poking through. Wow, A1C of close to 9. That is outstandingly terrible. Mine has never been, I think I had the highest of a 7.2 at one point. But if you're on, I hate to tell you this, Dash, but they may be telling you you're pre-diabetic, but if you're on metformin, you're diabetic. And I'm back close to being pre-diabetic, but I don't think you ever really get your body back to the stage it was before you got diabetes. Hey, Donnie. We'll be coming back with additional coats of paint. I planned on doing just a single one, but just looking at it, when I do the roof here, I will probably have to do a second coat. Okay, that looked like that was coming loose. But I think it looks pretty good. I'll probably, like I said, come back, do a second coat once it's dry. And when I'm doing the roof on top, I will probably find bigger brush for that. Let's see. Never poke your wood through anything. Donnie's here. How's the clamps going? No clamps today yet, Eric. Probably won't be. Dash says I don't need to take it, just decided to take it for a while. Guys are saying hey to each other. Actually, they're not thick like house paint, Dash. They are thick like, they're not even thick as your regular, what is it, your craft paints. I would say they're closer to the Vallejo paints when we haven't thinned them. What is that? I see a purple card here. I'm just curious what it is. Oh, that's what that is. Todd's not the only one that has the shifting paint. Okay. Now let me double check, make sure it's kind of funny. The paints don't look the same. It's the exact same color. Maybe it'll, when it dries completely. Maybe they are Vallejo paints. They could be with an OcCre label. They could be, Donnie. They are, I do know they're, for at least on the OcCre models, I've been very happy using them. Now the fun part, because now, just double check, make sure. Yeah. Now I get to apply paint on the sides of this thing. Right there. I might have to putty later. That's right. It's not a Vallejo paint. It doesn't have a marble in it. But I did use the vortex mixer on these earlier. This one, yeah. Just looking. I have a stack of paintbrushes behind me. I'm not going to be painting inside the windowsills at all because I don't want to paint my windows. I'll have to come back over the spots where I did the putty. I'm about to do something that you can't do on a plastic kit, but you can do on a wooden kit because the paint soaks in. You would never do this on a plastic kit. This paint is not dry enough for it. But I can do it on wood. This way, I don't have to be too worried about the bottom where the roof joins. Of course, what's going to happen is the paint is going to run in there and make me a liar. I'm going to end up painting the roof again and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's just going to be, I'm going to sit here and look like an idiot. Hoping the OcCre paint will actually, I'll have enough of it in this set. If I don't, I'll actually contact the vendor that I bought it from and say, hey, by the way, your bottles are 1/3 less than the OcCre bottles, and I didn't have enough paint. Some of the colors, I know it's going to be pretty close. Like the red, and a lot of use of the red. Although I think, other than touch-ups, the red might be done. This paint color is actually close. It is very, very close to the color of the wood. It shows actually better in camera than my eye can pick it up where it's not been painted. And Ken said I need to hire a really tiny person to paint the windowsills. I do. I need a really, really small person. Either that or just send this to Donnie and he'll paint the windowsills. That was close. What I'm going to do is go down the bottom most of the way. And then go back to the top. Go between. This is actually a little bit thinner. This ochre paint is a little bit thinner than the gray was. just go back along here. Make sure it's, I don't have any big blobs of paint there. So now we just call you Ren, and you say to you idiot. Are you saying I'm a tiny person, Ken? You might be. I don't know that you're tiny per se, but everything I hear, you're short. But short's okay. Because even the tallest of us was short at one point. Except maybe Todd. I think he might have been born at 4 feet tall. Seeing you in height, not width, seeing you standing next to people, average people like Todd. Todd is not average. Todd is a giant. I wouldn't say that Donnie's a hobbit. I don't know whether he has hairy feet or not. I don't think he does. Might have to ask that on the stream tomorrow when Ian and Jordan are there. Hopefully Jordan will be there. Have to ask if Donnie has hairy feet. If he has hairy feet, then he might be a hobbit. But if he doesn't have hairy feet, he's probably not. It's going to be a whole lot different painting the frames around the windows on the end of the train or cable car, tram, because I painted them red before. Those are going to need at least 2 coats, probably closer to 3 or 4. Although I want to say it's Artesania Latina. I've been watching some of their videos. I like how they tell you exactly how many coats when you're painting something. It says 3 coats. I've been watching their build of the, I don't know for sure the pronunciation. It looks like it should be Penduic. It's a sailing boat. Really cool looking ship or boat. Get this part here done. And I'll catch up on chat. I'm just looking, making sure that I don't have any spots that is going to be really obvious. You know, trying to make sure I don't have any brush strokes. I got some, glad I'm going to be doing a second coat of paint anyway. Just got some on there. Okay, let me clean this brush a little bit. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when you're painting, the paint will tend to dry a little bit on the brush. Okay, back to, I beat Ken to the hairy feet comment. Donnie says he's not a hobbit. It's time for second breakfast, though. Guessing that there's something to do with second breakfast. I think that was in the movies. Pixie maybe, or a dwarf. A dwarf? You mean a dwarf? Maybe a troll? Donnie's a garden gnome. Doesn't wear a pointy hat that we know of. I take it you're tall, Eric, since you say you should go to Wonderfest one day so that Todd doesn't feel like a giant. Ah, Donnie's a kinder, so he steals everything. And Ken says, yes, I read a book. Ken, it's not surprising that you read a book. Ian would be surprising if he read a book. 6'5". You're short. Because I think Todd's like 6'8". My son, I want to say my son is like 6'3". Go ahead and throw some tape on there. Straight. There we go. That's right. It's not steal. Kinders do not steal. You don't have control of it, so you must not be too concerned about it. So it's okay if they borrow it for an indefinite period of time without prior permission. And Ian reads picture books. And he makes up a story with the picture books about how the Knipex pliers blew up the paint, and it wasn't his fault. Not that that's ever happened to anybody in HTM. And yes, Eric, these days, Ian looks at everything through White Claw goggles. Oops. Tried to leave that starred so I knew where to come back to. And I took the star back out. These will definitely need a second coat as well. Permanently acquired. I just realized I am out of camera. So what I'm painting is the ends here. I'm actually ending up inside the sill on this because of the way I'm looking at it. A lot of the, when I was doing some sanding on here, a lot of the paint came off of these too, off these ends. So my biggest concern with painting inside the window sills is I do not want to paint my windows. If I wanted to, though, I could probably pop them back out because they are attached with just double-sided tape. Then I'd be able to paint the windowsills with impunity. Apparently, don't ban a star. Steal. Strategically is transfer equipment into an alternate location. Very good. He complains about Russian Hind, but he goes by the pictures and mumbles a lot like he's reading. I know. The Disneyland Dollhouse, my instructions are all in French. If I have to read something, I actually hit the Google Translate on my phone. Works out really well. Ken, as a cop, I bet you heard a lot of alternates to actually stealing. That's from the fat electrician. If you get paint on the windows, just add some other colors and call it graffiti. There is that, Donnie. We could do that. Stained glass. Hey, Andrea does stained glass. I'll have her do some really tiny stained glass for this. Dash said you can do that. Just hit a button, and I'm not sure what he's referring to. I actually thought that I was going to get to maybe some wiring tonight, but I don't think so. This painting is taking a little bit longer than I expected. But I am working on this, continuing to work on it during the week, or during the live streams. I don't do much of anything during the week except for work. Speaking of which, don't know if it's gonna, well, yeah, it's gonna come back to the live stream. Haven't worked on it on the live stream for quite a while. Worked on it on the Sunday stream. The Kalea will be coming back to the stream because my belt sander is going to fix a lot of the problem I had. Plus, as I've been working with it, the hull, it's actually looking a lot better. So you can see here, I did some sanding, or hit it with the belt sander. All I got to do is be careful that I don't do it too much so that this will still look decent. But a little bit of putty on some of these areas, and I think this will work really good because this is also double plank on bulkhead, or double plank on frame. So once I get this planking on the way I like it, I'll be putting another set of planks on it, and then I'll be painting it. So this one has a long ways to go, but it will look a lot better than it does now. Sorry, a little interlude to the side there. Oh, translates. Yes. Yeah, Dash, what it is the on your Android phone, you hit Google Translate and tell it to use your phone or use your camera, and it will translate automatically. Hang on, let me see. Where is my Google Translate? I think I've got it on here. Yes. So let me grab one of the books for the dollhouse. This is really kind of cool. No, we won't get any paint on it because that paint up there is dry. So like right here, that's in French. I hit translate, translate's already open. I hit this button here for camera. And now, when I hold it up here, it says take the first stick and stick E and apply a thin layer of wood glue. It translates it right inside the page or inside the phone screen. You see if I can get it to where you can. Let's see. Of course. There. Says the assembly of this issue is complete down there at the bottom. So amazing the things that our phones will do. Imagine being really good at fine line with a little overspray with an airbrush, make it look like graffiti. Yeah, possibly. I'm not that good with an airbrush. Ken said, "Don't worry, Dash. I don't have the power to ban here." And Donnie's like, "No hurry. You have all night to stream." "No, tonight's a school night, Donnie. I don't have all night to stream." We're going to have to work on my planking techniques. Absolutely. But that is the first curved hull I've ever planked. Never do too much. That's when she starts complaining. Ah, okay. Okay, Dash. But no, that's the thing, Don, is that here on the edges is where I left off. When I realized the better way to do it is to the planks with the nails in them are much better. I started cutting them in half, cutting them about the halfway point rather than trying to do the whole side of the hull, which is what OcCre's instructions said to do. So back to this little side interlude there into another model. Now the paint is dry on the brush. Never forget to clean your brush. Plus, if this paint does dry out too much, I have extended the not this stuff, but the craft paint I've extended before by just adding some water to it. Might be able to get away with just 2 coats on here. Third coat is going to be what does the final touches, makes it pretty. Okay. So there's one coat. There's 2 coats. Much better with the second coat. The side here looks good. Actually, no, this is the side here looks good with a single coat because except for there where the wood is a little bit chipped, because there's nothing behind it and the paint's about the same color. So I still got to do this side, and let's see. Oh yes, please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate it. By the way, speaking of which, thumbs ups would be really cool. I am at 906 subs today, and I posted 3 videos yesterday trying to hit the 1,000 hours of watch time. I hit 996. Eric sent me a DM. Wow. Show on stream, don't want to post on Discord because it'll be used to find my deck. I'm not, it's a fantastic boat, but without cropping it, I'm not going to put it on there because for the exact same reason. I will try and remember to crop it down to just the, well, actually, let's try this. Because even on the stream is, I would say, is more dangerous than putting it in Discord. So let me take this. Come on. Got to grab the window, get it out of the way. Grab this other corner here. Paint is so limited. There we go. Now I can show this. Save. Desktop. Save it there. There it comes up. Okay, now I can present without anybody being able to see any personal data on there. Matter of fact, sometime. Okay, go ahead and close that. And catch up on Todd. It's okay, Eric. You can touch the like button. Just don't break it. Yeah, they should have had me paint the wood before they had me put the windows in. Todd said wanted to drop a like, say hello to everybody before he heads out. Thanks for stopping by, Todd. Appreciate it. I have to think of it as tapering the planks. The reason I tell people to learn how to taper is that you get it. If you ever get around to planking with just the planking exposed, I will eventually get that way, get to that. And I've learned quite a bit on that one. That's why I steer to Ola's Confederacy build. Yes, that is a fantastic build she's doing. Hey, Gordon, welcome. Okay. Back to paint. What I'm going to do is just do one coat on each side of this, or as much as the paint will, until the paint runs out. And then we'll move on to cutting these beams up. Once those go out, then I can start working on, or once those are pulled out, I can work on the lighting. Because the lighting is going to go underneath these notches here will have the actual beams that will be there when the model is finished. And that's what the lighting is going to come off of, is those beams. It's okay, Eric can touch the button now. We got the bad touch doll that the button can use when it shows us what. Show us on the doll where the bad Eric touched you button. The sad part is I'm willing to bet that at some point Ken actually had to say that, and that's terrible. Because it wasn't a child, but I had to deal with situations like that while I was active duty. Really, really kind of a rough night. You know, things are, just got paint on that window. Damn it. I'm not going to be able to get it off. But it's a rough night when you get called out to the dorms. Everything is winding down. Everybody, everything that you had to do is winding down. The kid whose wife, he's stationed in Japan, but she stayed in Phoenix. things are winding down and everything. The argument's over. And then she says, I told him to stop and he wouldn't. And it's like, oh shit. Thank you. You just ruined my night. Not that I'm not upset, wasn't upset with her, but I was like, okay, that's when the kid now gets banned from my building. His wife has to stay in my dorm, whole 9 yards. Got to wake up the commander. Was no fun. It's one of these things, and my commander and I were both ready to prosecute this kid, but since he was from another base, they said send him home. We did. He came back to my schoolhouse about 4 months later. And nothing had been done at home station. But he when I saw him, when I noticed him, didn't say anything to him, but he did his best to become a part of the wall. Just kind of disappear and not be seen by me. He didn't want me to notice him. I saw him, but I didn't notice him. Okay. That's pretty much exhausted that paint. I'll do that the second coats during the Friday stream probably, or maybe on Thursday if Jordan's able to stream. Okay, let's look at chat real quick. It's okay, Eric, you can touch the button now. We got a bad touch stall that the button can use to show us where you touched it, keep you in line. Ken, did I buy buy it? I did buy it at Grissom before I touched it. Graffiti, Tom, because I hit the window there. No, we used diagrams that are all a little more accurate. We would have them name parts that they were referring to using the words they used. Kids deserve the soap and towel. That kid deserved the soap and towel treatment. Absolutely, he did. But Eric, did you buy yourself a Grissom? Uh-oh. Hide, Eric. Hide. Ken has about 43,000 Grissoms in his apartment. So I'm going to leave the. Actually, I'm going to pull the tape off just to see if I bled, and I did not. When I come back, when I do this again, I'll retape. But I also don't want to leave this tape on for a long time. Ask Ian about that, or Jordan. So there is that one spot right here where I got a little wild with the paintbrush. But second coat on that side, another 2 coats probably on that side. One more coat on that side. It actually is starting to look pretty good there. And then I need to finish the coat on this side. I just noticed I got a big blob of paint right here. And that would make an ugly spot. It's on his buy list. Grissom's on Eric's buy list, waiting for Cult TV Man to get another kit, just wanting to justify the shipping cost. Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. And Keith. So now the fun part. Reason I have these little saws in. No, Dash, I'm not going to try and put the Sonic Saber in here because something would definitely go wrong. So these have to get cut out. And I put a thicker blade on. So I put a wider blade on than I've had on before. I had a narrow one that every time I try and use it, it bends all over the place. Yes, yes, the cable car is cold. It does get cold sometimes in San Francisco. But using this little saw, we cut those out. And see that those are to hold up this roof while you're building it. Could have this first Sonic Saber fire on Livestream. No. It's the thing is, it's not that the Sonic Saber wouldn't even work. Maybe. Now the round part here would be hitting it, knocking pieces off. This works just as well. I'm going to cut a second one off. And then we're going to I realize as I start talking while I'm sawing that you guys probably can't hear me over the saw. It's pinching there. Especially considering that I'm sawing into this big echo chamber here. Wait, you put those in so you could cut them out? I don't understand wood modeling. Exactly, Donnie. Even though the Sonic Saber would be faster, Buck wants to spend, I want to spend more time with my devoted fans, and Donnie is just saying exactly what I said. You can't hear it. Dash was actually cutting strips earlier, and that saber makes those wood stops heat up with that resin. They do. I've cut wood before, and I've cut a plank before. My finger's about that far away, and I can feel it, the heat come up through the wood. But the next thing that we would do, we're just going to cut one out and get it started. We've got these parts here. They're part 51, and we can't leave Donnie confused. So we cut these pieces out. Those ones that I'm cutting out right now, let's get a better knife for this. The ones that I'm cutting out of there right now are just there to hold up this roof until you have this piece in. The sunlight or sunroof. And then once you have the sunroof in, you take out those original beams. And you don't have to. So Dash, when you get to this point on yours, you don't have to take those out. I just think it's better. But then you cut these out. This is part 51. And these are going to fit down inside here. This is going to be interesting. Is the plastic from the window going to be in the way? It is a little bit. They say to run one single strip of window plastic all the way across. I didn't. I ran it between spots. I may have to pop these windows out so that I can get this in here, because actually what I'll have to do is I'll have to cut a little bit of the plastic out. Because these should actually be coming all the way to the edge. So I'm going to have to cut a notch. As you can see, these are all these go down all the way into the window. I either have to cut a notch or just remove the plastic. To be honest, that's probably the better route, is just to remove the plastic from here, leave it out. Because it is very dusty. And if I take those out, I just put these cross beams in, and these cross beams are now going to support the ceiling or the roof. Hot wood action, brown chicken, brown cow. Then donating this stream at 8. Your devoted fans will stay longer. ASMR sawing sounds. Now I'm going to need to paint the ends of these wood pieces. Absolutely, I will. But what? Yes, Donnie. Now I'm putting wood braces in where I cut wood braces out. I like plastic models. But they're not. This is where I cut the wood brace out, and this is where I put the wood brace in. But I know exactly what you're saying, Donnie. It is kind of funny. But the plan is, now when I put these across, I will run 2 5x2mm pieces underneath here, and actually, instead of putting a 3 or 5mm, I'm going to put an SMD in there, so that for the lighting, I'm going to put one here, between each of between the 4 notches here. I'm going to put one here, here, and here, and that should light up everything well enough. Like tank models. Yeah, Donnie loves tank models. But I am going to call it, and I'm looking at this. You can see there how that's warped out. Before I knock off for tonight, I'm going to do it. Change my mind on how I'm doing something. Which means I can also paint the insides of the window sills and get this tape off of here. And do the same thing on this side. This time I'm just going to go from here. There's a couple spots that there's some tape left, but I'll get that. I'm not going to worry about those right now. But the reason I decided to take that out of there is because it'll still need a little bit of putty. But that now fits in there the way it's supposed to. Before it was bending it out. Now I can glue that in there. It'll fit perfect. So I spent a lot of time cutting windows, but I'm not going to use them. Could have put them on top just to begin with. Yes, I could have. But these pieces, the pieces underneath here that actually go all the way out to the edge, wouldn't be there. No, Ken, the tank models are plastic. The build process makes sense. Yes, Donnie. Comment on me removing the windows. Now you can't get the windows in. I can, but I'm not going to have windows in. Matter of fact, wow, that one didn't want to come out. We're going to take all of these windows out right now. And that is why I use double-sided tape instead of glue on things like that, because I might have to change my mind. Plus, I know that the cable cars have glass in these windows, to me, it makes more sense for them not to, because that is additional ventilation, and it gets hot in San Francisco. Not going to take the windows out of the passenger compartment down below. This one does not want to come out. This one's in good and proper. There we go. Come on. Come on. And that is that. Exactly, Ken. Now I can paint those windowsills. So, like I said, I'm going to call it. It's getting there, slowly but surely. I'm going to use a little bit of putty here and here, which means I'm going to have to primer it, get these all out. I am going to cut one more out because I like the way it looks when I cut it out. One thing about using something like this, you have to be careful not to be cutting into the wood that's right next to where you're trying to cut. Also need to get that out of there. That one needs a little bit more to cut off. It is. So this one here, I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. It is a little bit loose. So I'm going to throw a drop of glue right about there. Let that set overnight. Okay. Come on, Buck. Don't try to pretend that you use tape so that you can get them back out. Happy coincidence. Absolutely. Happy little accident. Didn't use tape so that I could get them back out. Used tape because it was easier. Great night. Everybody's dropping out. I'm going to drop out as well. Really appreciate you guys coming back, like 5 to 6 hours. It would be better. And I will tell you, I don't know that I could do a full 5 to 6 hours and keep people entertained, but I could do a couple hours, and I might next week while I'm on leave. Maybe 2. That's what I used to do. Used to do 2, got up to 3, got to be exhausting. 2 of you guys against 1 of you. Can't stop the streaming until Ken and I say you can. Yes, I can. Matter of fact, I'm going to take off now. I appreciate you guys coming by. I really do. I have a blast with this, especially you guys make it worthwhile because I would be doing this anyway, but I really appreciate when you guys watch. Let me know what you think because I enjoy the models. I enjoy the camaraderie as well. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a comment. I love comments. I know you guys have been commenting in here, but anybody who's watching it afterwards, please comment. I will answer. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video or stream.